most merciful, most gracious, and the source of all knowledge. Very very good morning to all of you. Hope so. You all will be safe and sound at your home, and will be must be following the procedure given by the government of Pakistan. Stay home, stay safe. Here we have the lecture of physics for ninth O level, and my name is Engineer Zainul Abidin. In our previous lecture, we have seen what is force, and we have defined force is something, a push or pull that one object exerts on another, which produces or tend to produce motion, stops or tends to stop the motion. So I have told you force is actually push or pull. That means if a subject is stationary, then with the help of force you can move, you can make that object to move in a specific direction, while an object is moving with a specific speed in a specific direction. With the help of force you can stop that object. So this is actually force which causes the push or pull of anything. This was actually given by a crazy scientist that is named as Sir Isaac Newton. He has a brilliant person and the worldwide famous and the known personality, Sir Isaac Newton. And on the basis of the giving the concept of the force, we have rewarded the Sir Isaac Newton, and we have defined the unit of force is actually Newton, and it is a vector quantity, mean it required the magnitude, unit, and direction for its complete description. And here we have the picture of Sir Isaac Newton, who has a lot of work in physics as well as in maths and chemistry too. So in our today's lecture, we will discuss about the Newton's first law. Newton's law are actually related to the motion, and they are actually between, they actually moves or revolves between the stationary and the moving objects as well. Here we have the statement, according to the statements of the Newton's first law, every object continues its state of rest or the uniform straight line motion unless a net force acts on it and change its state. That means it does not matter how many forces are acting on a specific object, or even there is a possibility none of the force is acting on an object, because as it is not possible an object is lying in our environment and none of the force is acting on it. At the same time, you can see if a book is lying on the table, then number of forces are acting on them. For example, the weight of the book is actually applied in the downward direction, while the table on which the book is lying actually applied a reaction force on the book in the upward direction. While as you can see, we have air in our environment, we have dust particles in our environment, and all these dust particles are applying the forces on the book that is lying on the table. So it is not possible something that is lying in our environment is affected or unaffected by the application of forces. So according to the Newton's first law, if a body is lying at the rest, then it will be in the rest, or a body is moving with a uniform velocity in a specific direction, then it will continue its speed or motion unless if unless a force is acting upon it. That means if a book is lying on the table, it will be on the table unless you go and get that book. Okay, it is actually saying this thing. A car is moving in a specific direction, it will move until you press the accelerator and car will moving fastly. So here you can see a car, if a car is moving in a specific direction, then it will be continue, and if a book is lying on the table, it will be on the table unless someone disturb that book and it replaces its direction or its state of rest or motion. So this is the first law of the Newton. It is actually also known as the law of inertia too. So secondly, we have the second law of the Newton. Oh, a horse is coming also here to learn about the law, what the Newton's second law of motion is. So this law is actually related to the force, mass, and acceleration. So I have shown here the velocity. The velocity is actually showing when the velocity is produces and velocity is changing with respect to the time, then it is actually called acceleration. Therefore I have shown the velocity over here. This law is actually circulates between the force, mass, and velocity. So according to the statement, when a resultant force acts on a constant mass, an acceleration will result with the product of the mass and the acceleration equal to the resultant force. The direction of acceleration is same as the direction of the resultant force. In simple words, you can see, if you have a specific mass and you are applying force in a specific direction on that mass, then this mass will start moving and an acceleration is produced in a specific mass. Okay, I think you are getting my point. I'm actually saying we have an object having specific mass m, and we start to applying force on the mass m in a specific direction, and you can see some acceleration is produced on that object in a specific direction, and this specific direction, uh, he is actually saying the acceleration that is produced in the object is directly proportional to the force applied and inversely proportional to the mass of specific object. So mathematically, the Newton's law can be defined as the force, net force, that is applying on the mass is equal to mass into the acceleration produced in the object. So this is the actual the mathematical representation of Newton's law of motion. So Newton's law of motion can also be written in this form: A is equal to F over m. From this relation, the uncle is actually saying you can say the acceleration is directly proportional to the force, as well as the acceleration is inversely proportional to the mass. This inverse and the direct relation is actually showing you, if you have the more force, then more acceleration will be produced, but if you have the more mass but the force is constant, then less acceleration is produced. So inverse relation is actually showing you this thing. If the mass is constant and you are continuously increasing the force, then acceleration will be continuously increased. But if you have constant force but the mass is continuously increasing, or the mass is very very high, then the acceleration produced will be very low. So here you can see the Newton's second law is actually saying, net external force, that is actually equal to the product of mass and the acceleration generated due to that specific force. And here we have going to define again, when unbalanced forces are applied on a specific object, this an acceleration is produced in that specific object, and this acceleration is specifically depends upon the net force. And as I already have told you, this acceleration is directly proportional to the net force, while this acceleration depends upon inversely on the object's mass. So I have already explained you how mass can be affect the acceleration produced by the application of the force. So as these laws are given by the Sir Isaac Newton, and the concept of force was also given out by the Sir Isaac Newton. Therefore, I have told you in our previous lecture that we have rewarded the Sir Isaac Newton, giving the unit of force on their name. So the unit of force is Newton. So from the Newton's second law, F is equal to ma, we can define the Newton. 1 Newton is actually a force when an acceleration of 1 meter per second is produced in an object of 1 kilogram, then force will be 1 Newton. Here we have the definition: 1 Newton is a force that is required to produce an acceleration of 1 meter per second in a body of 1 kilogram. So it is actually saying you have a body of 1 kilogram and you are start pushing to that specific body, then when your acceleration will be about 1 meter per second square, then at that specific time, when you multiply both of these things, then your force will be about 1 Newton. So you have to learn about Newton's second law. F is equal to ma, its mathematical form. And you must have to learn here force is actually denoted by m. The m is the mass of object and a is the acceleration. And you have to you have, I think, example number 3.1 or 2 in your book as well. And I have given you some numericals in your summer packs. You have to solve all these numerical by using these formulae. Now if you have any kind of question related to the today's article, then you can ask me. I am there for you. Thank you very much.